All right. So you guys have gotten to see and hear and read a lot of stuff from homeless people that I personally know about how poor people are treated, about how the poor are victimized, but the homeless, the difference between the homeless and the poor people is like the difference between poor people and the middle class, which is the difference between the middle class and Donald Trump. I mean, there are light years of difference between all of these scenarios. If I was Donald Trump, I could sue all of these people and take all of their money. But I don't have any money. Lovely, right? So, bad cops, lazy cops who didn't do their jobs and then thought that threatening, harassing, and intimidating myself and the people who were trying to help me was an acceptable way to do business. And I do mean business. They're after a goddamn profit. I don't mean like the Prophet Muhammad, all right? I'm talking about capital. Capitalism is what our type of government is supposed to be based on, right? Money, feria. Yeah. So if you have no money, you don't have any rights, and it don't fucking matter. Now there's the rights that you are supposed to have, and so many of you want to throw it in my face. No, dude, that's not how it is. This is what it says. This is what it says. It doesn't matter what the fuck it says. It doesn't. If the law says that a police officer has to have his body cam on at all points in time while he's on duty, and the law doesn't say that, but it should. But if that's what the law said, and the cops decided to turn off their body cameras like Keith Steinman did often, and then claim that his camera was broken, there's a major issue there. Because his broken camera allows him to lie. And if you have a tag like mentally ill, then he automatically wins because he broke the law. He gets to win. You are going to jail for a crime that you didn't commit because he preyed on you by using his position of power and a label that's complete fucking bullshit. The term mentally ill is too broad a term. Too broad. If you're going to treat somebody like they're mentally ill, maybe you should find out what their mental illnesses are instead of just assuming that they're schizophrenic and violent. Instead of putting your nasty cockbeaters on another human being who is overwhelmed and trying to get help. Fuck the police. Now, through all of this, the Bollinger family has gotten free ride after free ride after free fucking ride. Now, people started some GoFundMe's for me because I didn't know how to do that shit. And then those people stabbed me in the back because why? Why did Candace stab me in the back? Because she was harassed by the fucking cops. Duh. Not that any of you are actually paying any attention to that. The law can break the law at will and get away with it because they're the law. But is it Candace who's paying the consequences for that? No, it's me. Is it Officer Michael Beard who's paying the consequences for that? No, it's me. Now, Miss Shelley and the shit that she pulled while I was at Candace's, that's so fucked up. In every single one of these cases, you can see that I was trying to do the right thing and they were using that to manipulate me. Like, oh, he's a good person. We could manipulate the fuck out of him. Oh, he doesn't have any money. We can manipulate the fuck out of his desperate situation. And that's what they've done. And then they'll allow slander from anywhere. They'll allow slander from Texas in my court date. They'll allow slander from Arizona in my court date. But they won't allow actual evidence, even from that jurisdiction, into any of my court dates. Now, what's my major issue here in Chapel with going to the Chapel Police Department? Well, first of all, let's take a look back in history. If historically, every time you go to your grandpa's house because you need some money and you're willing to work for it, he decides he's going to rape you, are you going to go to your grandpa's to get some money? Now, how about when everybody is telling you, hey, Sean, you just need to suck it up and go over to your grandpa's and ask him for money. Sean, you just need to go talk to your grandpa, see if he's got some money. Sean, you should go ask your grandpa. It don't matter how many times you say that. I'm not going to my fucking grandpa's to get raped. I'm just not. Now, if you push me to the point that I am going to my grandpa's house to ask him for help because you won't help me unless I ask my grandpa and he rapes me, that's not your fault, is it? It's not. You're not going to take any responsibility for that. You're going to lay it all on me. Well, I didn't know he was going to fucking rape you. Well, maybe you should have listened. Maybe you should have listened. Now, did my grandpa ever rape me? Fuck no, he raped my mom. Big fucking difference. Does that make it okay? Hell no. Hell the fuck no. But now we got this situation of women in the United States are taught that after they destroy somebody's life with their bullshit, that they can turn to men and have men harm an innocent person. You know, one of the biggest things that turned me off from dating is there's a girl in high school, right? She was dating one of the boys that he wasn't really real popular, wasn't really unpopular. He was just one of the dudes. You know, he wasn't like the star quarterback, but he wasn't the fucking band geek that had snot running down his face either. Now, she wanted to get all drunk at a party and then accuse him of cheating on her, which of course he wasn't. He didn't fucking know shit about women, you know, Chapel fucking Nebraska. So she decided that he was cheating on her, and then she went around to all of her friends talking shit. They gave him a whole bunch of hell. And you know, this young woman actually bragged to me about what she did to him. You know what she did to him? Before she broke up with him, she went around to a bunch of his friends and gave them blowjobs and then went back and gave him a kiss. Holy shit! Are you fucking kidding me? And believe it or not, that's not even close to the first woman who's done something like that. I don't want that shit happening to me. I'm a good dude. I don't deserve to have somebody who is trained to be fucking nuttier than squirrel turds doing shit like that to me. I remember I went to go see my older brother when he lived in Five Points in Denver. And he ran into a woman when we got off the bus that he knew. He knew her from a gay pride parade. Her name was Angie. And guess what? We went back to where Eric was staying, and Eric had sex with Angie, and so did Abear, Joshua Abear. And the morning, Rabbit, that's what we call my older brother, his real name's Eric. In the morning, he come down the stairs and he says, "Hey, Sean, there's some pussy upstairs waiting on you." I'm like, "No, I'm all right. I'm not interested, thank you, though." So a few minutes later, Angie comes down the stairs and she says, It's too bad you didn't come upstairs. Your brother wanted to ask you what he tastes like. Now tell me that's not fucking sick and demented. Now there's quite a few women throughout this who have threatened me with a great many things. See, they threaten me with their friends. They have their friends threaten me and threaten my life and threaten me with bodily harm. And then these people want to threaten me with the police. Fuck you. You do not get to threaten my life and send people after me and play fucking victim. You goddamn right I'm going to speak out. You piece of shit. And I don't give a fuck if you're friends with my predators or not. I care about if you tell the truth. And if you're not telling the truth because you're friends with my predators, then you are as guilty as they are. It's called being an accessory. And that's what most of these police officers are. Accessories and accessory after the fact. But that's not all the laws they broke. Not even fucking close. Witness harassment, witness intimidation, assault, omission of evidence, destruction of evidence, conspiracy. Now we're getting into the interesting stuff because conspiracy itself is an actual charge, just conspiracy. And then we start getting into the types of conspiracy. Conspiring to cover up the crimes of another individual, conspiring to cover up your own crimes. Gang stalking. What the Bollinger family did, that wasn't just gang stalking. What the police did wasn't just gang stalking. This jurisdictional bullshit. I've said from the very start, hey, this jurisdictional bullshit only works one way. They will only look at one side. Because that's actually how it is. Now, if you're rich and you got a great lawyer, things are different. Matter of fact, if you're walking down the street and you look like you're rich, cops are not likely to fuck with you, even if you are breaking the law. You have no idea how many hooty-tooty individuals I have seen the police walk right past smoking cigarettes in Boulder, Colorado, where it's illegal as fuck. That law is pretty much just used to try to harm homeless people. What do I mean by harm homeless people? Because obviously, if they're smoking, they're harming themselves, right? Now you're just making excuses for naughty behavior. So you want to complain about how white privilege, white privilege, white privilege, white privilege, white privilege. I'm going to be the first to admit, yes, white privilege does exist. No, it's not a check that I get in the mail for the color of my skin. It's the fact that, let's say I have a backpack and I'm being victimized for being homeless, but I have a vehicle. I can take off my backpack. I can put that backpack in my vehicle and I no longer look homeless. I am less likely to get harassed by the police by probably 100 times. But a black man can't take off his skin and put it in the trunk of his car, now can he? Skin color is used to determine approximation of guilt. Now, this is not actual guilt. It's whether or not you have the money to defend yourself against false charges. Because it literally costs tens of thousands of dollars just to jump through their goddamn hoops when they press false charges against you. If you don't even have the money to jump through their hoops, they're going to railroad you. If you can't go to their court dates because they have stolen all of your money, well, now they can lock you up for not being able to show up to court. Fuck this goddamn country. When I was a kid, I used to hear about how great America was. When I became an adult, I realized that's complete bullshit. If you got something, then yeah, you're a human being. But if you got nothing, you're a fucking dog. You don't mean shit to American society. You're fucking tax money. That's what you are. Now there's these things they got called rollovers. What's a rollover? Well, Zach Boatman is a rollover. This guy's actually schizophrenic. When they start running out of room in the jails, they go and arrest him and lock him up for a few days and then let him out. They don't provide him with any sort of treatment for his disabilities, but they'll punish him for having them because it makes them revenue. Now, Zach Boatman commits a lot of crimes. A lot of crimes. The guy's nuttier than fucking squirrel turd. One time, I've seen this little Asian dude. Now, mind you, Zach Boatman is tall. He's big, all right? He's big and tall. So he goes over and he's fucking having one of his off days. And he goes and he steals an iPad from this little tiny Asian dude. And as he's like, there's two cops right behind him who saw this. I mean, he's coming right around the corner, right there on 16th and Pearl. And he snatches it out of the dude's hand. And straight snatches it out of the dude's hand. In front of two cops. These cops are maybe 20 steps behind him. Now, in the commotion, this iPad actually gets flung across the bricks. And it breaks to a bunch of little fucking pieces. And this Asian dude, he sees these cops there and he's yelling at him, "That guy stole my iPad. That guy stole my iPad." The only other dude who's on the street other than me, and I'm over at Starbucks, is another tiny Asian dude. And this other Asian dude who's had his stuff stolen is pointing right at Zach Boatman saying, "He stole my iPad." Zach Boatman is in the process of picking up the iPad while this man is pointing out Zach Boatman and talking about the iPad that these two police literally just saw Zach take. And these officers are playing stupid. They're like, "That guy down there?" Pointing at this dude who's on the whole next block. And this dude who just got his iPad stolen, I mean, he's got his fucking eyes this big. Disbelief. Oh my God. How is it that these people are oblivious to this huge man picking up an iPad? There's glass from right there to right there. Follow the glass trail of broken iPod. You can find the dude. He's less than 30 feet from you, and he's the only other dude on the block other than me. So what does Zach do? He's still fucking oblivious to the world. These cops were going out of their way so much to give him a free fucking ride, they had to play stupid for at least 2 minutes. They had to pretend that Zach Boatman did not exist for almost 2 minutes before Zach realized, oh, there's cops there. And yes, it took Zach that long to realize that there were two cops there. And then he walked through the alley with the busted iPad that the cops went out of their way to pretend they didn't see. What's a roll through? Now, Zach Boatman out there committing those crimes is job security. See, let's say you've got 10 homeless people. One of them is a habitual criminal. He steals a lot. Now, if you arrest him, then the theft goes down, your funding goes down. You don't get the prestige that you want because you're not arresting people all the time. So what you do is you go after accomplices. They don't even have to be accomplices. Shit, when Victor King stole that computer, they tried pretending like I stole it by having me sit down next to it. I was just a passerby. The police knew that I'd been speaking out against him for years, and they thought, you know what? We'll just make Sean take the fall for it. But Victor King spoke up. Thank you, Victor, for being honest. I am now a roll through. Anytime that I go to the police, I'm going to get treated the way that I have been. I'm going to get treated like I'm not a human being. They're going to try to make money off of me by rolling me through the jails, rolling me through the system, and keeping me in. Fuck the goddamn system, and fuck any of you who support it. All they got to do is say he's mentally ill. You want to steal from me? It's fine. Just call me mentally ill. The police aren't going to take my goddamn report anyway. They're just going to call me mentally ill. And when I try to turn those police in for not taking my report, they're going to harm me and say it's okay because I'm mentally ill. You guys are severely mentally fucking ill.